Hello, this is the video for the offline class in Calculus Honours for March 27th, and we're going to continue on with what we did on graphical analysis. Now, right at the start, before we do anything else and before you proceed with watching any more of this video, you should pause it, and what you should do is you should go back into the content library and check the homework for March 26. Okay, and if you haven't done that, and I'm doing this on the evening of March the 26th, and most of you haven't done it yet, so if you haven't done that, then you should complete this homework before you go any further with this video. If you watch the video first, it'll confuse you. So first of all, please just pause this video, do that homework, and come back to the video. Okay, so hopefully you're back now, and we're ready to begin today's class. And the graph that's on the screen at the minute, it looks very messy, but it is just a copy of the work that we did yesterday on Thursday, the 26th of March. And this was the graph of a function that we analyzed, and we analyzed it in terms of its slope. We saw where it was steep, where the slope was positive, where the slope was negative, where the slope was 0. And we analyzed it, and we drew the slope of the derivative based on that. Now, some of the information that we got in our work yesterday could be summarized and is summarized in this table here. So I'm just going to make this a little bit smaller. And what we said yesterday and what we used yesterday was that if the original function, the function that's shown on the screen here, is increasing, and I've indicated that here by the light blue, then the slope is positive. And so the graph of the derivative, remember the derivative f prime is the slope. If the slope is positive, then it should be above the x-axis. If the original function is decreasing, and that's the black section in the middle, then the slope is negative there. And if the slope is negative, the slope is the derivative, so the derivative is negative. In other words, the derivative is below the x-axis. Where the slope is horizontal, where the original function is horizontal, that's the green dots. The slope there is 0, slope of horizontal is 0. And that means the graph of the derivative f prime will be on the x-axis. It will touch, the graph of the derivative will touch the x-axis. The original has a maximum, a relative maximum, at the top of its hill. And at that point, the slope is 0. And the graph, the slope changed from positive to negative at that point. Okay, so we're looking, I don't know how well this will show up, but if you're looking at the screen, we're talking about this point here. This is the relative maximum, and the graph goes from positive on the left, or the slope goes from positive on the left, positive, to negative. Okay, so at a relative maximum, the slope is 0, but it's changing from positive to negative, and the graph of the derivative will cross the x-axis from above the x-axis to go below the x-axis. At a relative minimum, that's this point down here, that's the relative minimum. The slope again is 0 at that point, but it changes from negative to positive. Okay, slope changes from negative to positive. In other words, the derivative changes from negative to positive. It changes from below the x-axis to going above the x-axis. Now, we didn't summarize the information like that yesterday, but we can do it today, and it's very handy to have that little table available to us. We're going to use it a little bit later on. And the result of the work we did yesterday was to produce the graph of the derivative. That's the graph that's in light blue and in black here. And what you can see a couple of things about it. That when the original function, that's the one in red, the graph in red, as long as it is increasing, so from here to here, then the derivative is above the x-axis because the derivative is the slope. And if the function is increasing, the slope is positive, and so the derivative is positive. So when we graph the derivative, it's positive. It's above the x-axis. Once the function turns, the original function turns and starts to decrease, so between this point again and this point, the graph of the derivative is negative. The slope is negative, so the graph of the derivative is negative. It's below the x-axis. And then finally, the function turns once more, so between here and here, the graph is going uphill. This red function, the original function, is going uphill, so its slope is positive, and therefore the derivative is positive. The derivative is above the x-axis. Okay. So what we're going to do today is we're going to work backwards. Okay, so yesterday what we did was we started with the graph of f, and we tried to get information about the graph of the derivative, the graph of f prime. Today we're going to go work backwards. Our new objective is to work backwards to collect information about the graph of f if we're showing the graph of f prime. Okay, now skipping down to here. In particular, if showing the graph of f prime, the derivative of the function, we will try to answer the following questions about f. Okay, so if showing the graph of f prime, we'll try to answer the following questions about f. So from now on, what we're going to do is we're going to see f prime, but we're going to answer questions about f, which we don't see. Okay, and f will not be shown. So we're going to have to use logic rather than simply looking at it and using our eyesight. So the four questions we're going to have to answer initially. At what x coordinate does f have a relative maximum? At what x coordinate does f have a relative minimum? On what intervals is f increasing? And on what intervals is f decreasing? Okay, so those are the four questions that we're going to worry about. To answer these questions, we'll use the table we developed above. What I've said, the most difficult part of this work is to keep clear in your mind that you're looking at one graph, f prime, but required to state facts about a different graph. So basically what we've said here. Okay, so that's basically what we're saying here. We'll see f prime, but we'll answer questions about f. So here's an example, and I'll blow it up a little bit for us. The image shows the graph of f prime, the derivative of a function f. So we're looking at f prime, we're not looking at f. Study this graph and answer the questions which follow. So we're seeing f prime, but if you look at the answers down here, if you look at the questions down here, they're all about f. So we see f prime, but we're being asked about f. So the questions are, at what x coordinate does f have a relative maximum? At what x coordinate does f have a relative minimum? And on what intervals is x increasing? Okay, so let's answer these questions out here to the side. Okay, so the first one is f has a relative maximum. Okay, well, if you're not sure yet, look up the table down below. And if you look at the left-hand column of the table, it talks about f. And if you look down at the fourth line down, we see relative maximum. So in other words, f is a relative maximum. And then go right across to the other side, and we'll see that the relative maximum of f corresponds to whenever the graph of the derivative, f prime, the one we get, crosses the x-axis from above the x-axis to below the x-axis. So to find a relative maximum of f, we want to find when the derivative changes from positive to negative. When does the derivative go below the x-axis? And this function here changes from above the x-axis to below the x-axis when x is negative 2. So it's above the x-axis here, and it's below the x-axis here. So that change occurred when x was negative 2. Okay, so that's the relative maximum. Okay, not on this graph, but it's the relative maximum of f. Okay, it's a relative maximum of f. So you have the relative maximum for f when f prime changes from positive to negative, when it goes below the x-axis. So at x equals -2. Okay. Number 2. Second question. At what x-coordinate does f have a relative minimum? We'll do the same, take the same approach. F is a relative minimum. Look at the table, the left-hand side of the table, the bottom entry. F is a relative minimum. And now move over to the right-hand side. When the graph of the derivative f prime crosses the x-axis from below the x-axis to above it. So where does this graph, f prime, go from below the x-axis to above the x-axis? And it's at 3. Okay, so as you approach 3, you're below the x-axis. As you go beyond 3, you're above the x-axis. So f has a relative minimum at x equals 3. Okay. So we're getting close to the cutoff time. I only have 15 minutes to do this, so we're getting close to the cutoff time. Number 3. On what intervals is f increasing? Again, look at your table. F, you want f to be increasing. F is the first column. So f is increasing. That's the first line. When the graph of the derivative is above the x-axis. Okay, so above the x-axis. So you're above the x-axis. F prime is above the x-axis across here and down as far as there. So if we look along here, that's from -5 to 2. So we can say f is increasing from x equals -5 to x equals -2, and it happens over here again from x equals 3 to x equals 5. In this section here, it's above the x-axis there as well. From x equals 3 to x equals 5. Okay, one last question. Number 4. In what intervals is f decreasing? Well, f is decreasing. Again, look at your table. F is decreasing when f prime is below the x-axis. So from -2 across to 3. Okay. F is decreasing from x equals -2 to x equals x equals 3, +3. Okay, and that's how to answer these questions. I'm going to put on a couple of them for homework for you. Watch this video, pause it when you need to pause it, rewatch different parts of it as you need to. I know this video is a little bit long, but hopefully it did okay with it, and thank you very much for watching, and look out for homework. I'll post homework on VeraCross. Okay, see you next week. Have a great weekend. God bless. Bye-bye.